What if everything we thought we knew about human history was wrong? 12,000 years ago, thousands of years before the Egyptians built their first pyramid, before the Sumerians invented writing, before anyone on this planet had discovered agriculture, someone built something extraordinary on a hilltop in what is now southeastern Turkey. They carved massive T-shaped pillars from limestone, some weighing up to 20 tons. They arranged them in circles, in ovals, decorated with intricate carvings of animals, lions, bulls, foxes, gazelles, birds of prey. They created what we now call Göbekli Tepe, the world's oldest temple. But here's what keeps archaeologists up at night. According to everything we understand about human development, this place shouldn't exist. This is dust and dynasties. I'm your guide through the lost worlds that history tried to forget. And today, we're going deep into the mountain of secrets that is Göbekli Tepe. The story of Göbekli Tepe begins, as many great discoveries do, with a farmer. In 1963, Turkish archaeologist Istanbul University professor Sadat actually first documented the site. But like many great discoveries, nobody paid much attention. The site was dismissed as a medieval cemetery. The strange T-shaped pillars, just gravestones. Case closed. Visual. Photos of Klaus Schmidt. Then in 1994, German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt had what he later called the moment that changed everything. Schmidt had been working at another Neolithic site in Turkey, and he was convinced there was something bigger waiting to be found. He visited Göbekli Tepe and recognized immediately what others had missed. Those weren't gravestones, those were temple pillars. What Schmidt found was staggering. At least 20 circular enclosures, some dating back to 9,500 BCE, the dawn of the Neolithic era. But these weren't simple structures. The pillars were arranged in elaborate patterns, connected by walls and benches, covered in reliefs of animals that seemed to dance across the stone. The carvings were so fresh, so detailed, that Schmidt reportedly said it looked like they were made yesterday. For the next 2 decades, Schmidt led the excavation, slowly revealing what he called the world's first cathedral. But in 2014, Klaus Schmidt died unexpectedly. The Turkish government took over the site, and for years progress seemed to slow. Until now. The new discoveries that changed everything. In late 2025 and early 2026, something remarkable happened. The Tas Tepeler project, a massive archaeological initiative combining Turkish and international researchers, began revealing secrets that have blown open our understanding of Göbekli Tepe. This structure, discovered in recent excavations, is unlike anything found before at the site. It contains pillars arranged in a complex pattern that researchers believe may represent astronomical alignments. But here's the kicker. Carbon dating suggests this enclosure could be older than anything previously discovered, pushing the origins of Göbekli Tepe back even further. We always thought the site was built around 9,500 BCE. Now, some researchers are suggesting it could be significantly older, perhaps 11,000 years ago, perhaps more. But it's not just the age that's uprising, it's what they were doing. Recent analysis of the animal reliefs has revealed something extraordinary. These aren't just decorations. They appear to be a sophisticated symbolic system. Different animal motifs appear in different areas of the site, possibly representing different clans, different rituals, or different concepts we haven't yet deciphered. One theory that's gaining traction. Göbekli Tepe wasn't just a temple. It was a kind of astronomical observatory, a calendar written in stone, a place where ancient people tracked the movements of the stars. Think about what that means. 12,000 years ago, people were tracking celestial events with enough precision to build massive stone structures aligned to them. This wasn't primitive. This was advanced, and we've only just begun to understand how advanced. The questions that keep scientists up at night, Now here's where things get really interesting and really mysterious. Everything we understand about human development says that complex social organization, monumental architecture, and spiritual sophistication should come after the agricultural revolution. First, humans settle down. Then they farm. Then they build temples. But Göbekli Tepe flips that equation completely. These people were hunter-gatherers. They hadn't developed agriculture yet. They hadn't domesticated animals, at least not in any significant way. By every model we have, they shouldn't have had the resources, the social structure, or the motivation to build something like this. So why did? Some. Archaeologists suggest Göbekli Tepe was built as a gathering place, perhaps for seasonal festivals, for rituals that brought together scattered hunter-gatherer groups. The animal carvings might represent totems of different tribes, brought together in one sacred space. Others think it served a more pragmatic purpose, a way to create social cohesion, to build identity, to establish hierarchies that could organize large-scale cooperation. But here's what nobody can explain. Who were these people? Where did they come from? And where did they go? Göbekli Tepe was deliberately buried around 8000 BCE. The pillars were intentionally covered with dirt and debris. The site wasn't abandoned. It was buried. Deliberately. Carefully. Why? We don't know. The implications. Every civilization we've ever studied has left traces. The Romans have their roads and aqueducts. The Egyptians have their pyramids. The Maya have their calendar stones. But Göbekli Tepe is different. It stands alone, precursor to nothing, descendant of nothing. For thousands of years it sat buried under that hill, waiting to be rediscovered. And the implications are profound. If Göbekli Tepe was built by hunter-gatherers, then we've badly underestimated what pre-agricultural humans were capable of. Perhaps civilization didn't begin in Mesopotamia with farming. Perhaps it began here, in this corner of Turkey, with something far more mysterious. Some fringe theorists, people like Graham Hancock, have suggested that Göbekli Tepe is evidence of a lost civilization. An advanced culture that existed during the last ice age, destroyed by catastrophic events, remembered only in myth. Mainstream archaeology rejects this, but even mainstream researchers admit Göbekli Tepe proves that the story of human civilization is far older and far stranger than we ever imagined. In 2024, UNESCO designated Göbekli Tepe as a World Heritage Site. In 2025 and 2026, new discoveries continue to emerge. The largest enclosure at the site, Enclosure A, still holds secrets that may take decades to uncover. 12,000 years ago, on a hilltop in what is now Turkey, people came together to build something extraordinary. They carved their stories into stone, stories of animals, of stars, of gods we will never know. They buried their temple and vanished, but they left us a message, carved in limestone, waiting to be found. And that message is simple. We have always been more than what we thought we were. Thanks for watching. If this video blew your mind, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell, because there's more history hidden beneath the surface than the textbooks will ever tell you. Until next time, this is Dust and Dynasties. Stay curious.